no team could come close to NRX John 316. They have their own unique playstyle. They always drop at logging camp. So when you watch these games, as you watch the drop path and the flight path coming into maps 1, 2, all the way to 5, you'll see that there is a big circle that goes around logging camps. And very rarely do we actually see teams try to contest NRX John 316 at their drop spot, because that is their territory. That is where they go, and that's where they hunt. And teams that have dropped there time and time again just fall prey to the NRX John 316 squad. Now, we do have a few other teams that drop in their respective territories. We'll see Pirate Team go towards the observatory, so they'll always make their way straight up there. We'll see teams who are not playing today, like War of Elite or SEAL Team, always drop towards Rust Bay and try and go north or south of Rust Bay, depending on which matchup they're up against. But a lot of these Southeast Asian teams, because they play against their own region in every single match, no matter what. If you're from Thailand, you're always in a game against Thai teams unless you're in the grand finals. So they always drop in their respective territories. There you go. Number 2 is going to be Pirate Team that are dropping towards the observatory there. And then going down towards logging camps, we should expect NRX John 316 in just a bit.
Yeah. Also, not the only team to actually be dropping up by observatory is Pirate Team. We also see what looks like Itz.io Gaming actually dropping just on the outside of it, a little closer to training base. But it's a nice spread here from Southeast Asian teams that are kind of moving all over the map. A lot of them still fairly clustered in the center, no longer outside the edges near Rust Bay or Windcliff. But we see where the circle spawns. It looks like it will center on Research Edifice, which means that will be pretty much where a lot of the big action starts going on. But already, everybody's starting their looting, and they're grabbing themselves the vehicles, and we're underway.
Underway already, moving in towards the garage here, making sure that they get in towards the cars and moving towards and spreading out throughout the circle itself. So, most of these teams are going to try and do what they can. Shibuya here, just making sure that he holds this compound. Early skirmishes is something that the Southeast Asian teams try to avoid as much as possible. You know, they don't want to get into these early fights unless they absolutely have to, because it just wastes looting time. It wastes time they can get deeper in towards the circle. But sometimes we see some of the more aggressive teams force these fights and, you know, catch teams off guard.
Yeah, especially when two different teams are trying to loot the same house at the same time. It usually ends up not working out well for at least one of them. But for the most part, not a lot of aggression. A couple of shots left and right. That's about it. Nobody really chasing for any kills right now. And you can see Shibuya and Lion hold up inside that house and making sure that they can get themselves in a good position if any of these teams decide to go at them.
Lion holding on, just doing what he can at the moment. I mean, this is going to be one of the Indonesian teams, W6D1 just holding out in the open, looking for a fight against their squad. Lion's already lost one of his allies very early into the competition, so he's going to be trying to hold on tight and pick this fight. W6D1 are slowly disengaging, as you'd expect.
And
they only got a single kill for themselves.
Than that. Look at that, aggressive, already taking a little bit of extra damage there too, and a little bit of dodging, sidestepping. Their Lion can't quite find his mark. Still, though, advantageous position continuing for him. It's a very tense moment. Only a couple of members really dropped in this early stages, as you pointed out. Still very defensive meta, and of course for both the for all the teams involved, tending to play towards that goal. But that doesn't mean that they won't take advantageous shots if they can. Looks like Makia trying to find Ian Miguel out and lights him up. Not enough damage though, as he dodges around there. He's able to be found once more. And this is getting very, very dangerous for Philippine representatives.
Ian Miguel making sure he moves straight in towards the building right after the reload comes out from his fender right on top of that garage there. They're actually going to move away, get inside that vehicle, and get inside the truck and rotate away. Baby already losing one of their players very early on. So you can see the Southeast Asian teams, 2 teams have dropped a player. Both of those teams have successfully disengaged from the team that took that player down. Nobody really wants to take these early game fights.
Yeah, nobody really wants to. It's just if they get forced in that situation, sometimes it ends up not working out so early on. So Baby already kind of moving away from this big zone of play, a little bit closer towards Bitter Lake, which is usually a popular congregation spot. But for the time being, there's actually not as many people there as there have been in some of the other looting areas. Looks like Yusen going to be joining up with Aggressive here to keep moving. Nepter out a little further on his way as well, as you mentioned earlier, W6DF. Just making sure that they were trying to sniff out anyone who was caught out while trying to loot the house. Didn't really find anything on it.
No, didn't find anything. And we should start to see teams get a little bit more settled here. Pow from Brendan Esports was spotted out by WBS from WAFFF. He's actually creeping in closer, does have a weapon for himself. So it's not like he's not trying to pick this fight, more of just trying to stay undetected in case Pow sticks around so he can pick up a free kill for himself.
Yeah, going to be a little difficult when he's man versus car. That's always hard. Meanwhile, checking back in with Baby, looks like they're finding themselves a sweet new vacation destination over by the cliffs. See if they decide to actually hop out and go for some loot. No, looks like they will just send one member out there as they continue to keep roving on down. Really just trying to find a safer spot to really gear themselves up for the later conflicts.
Or just, you know, driving around in circles and having no idea whatsoever what he's doing.
I mean, I like to assume their strategy involved Fish, but, you know, if you want to pull back that particular curtain, be my guest.
I mean, he's driving around with 2 players inside of his squad.
Yeah.
So the third player's been left somewhere to his own devices. This is Pirate Team. Ryan, Roger, Valentine playing in this one. And we have Jackie playing in the first 4 starters for Pirate Team. So Mantum out on the bench at the moment. And they've got a truck for themselves. They've already moved towards the training base. Interestingly enough, this actually follows where NRX John 316 could potentially end up.
And those are 2 of the stronger teams in terms of our perception right now in this particular matchup in these next 5 matches. And if they kind of end up facing off against each other early on, that could actually open the game quite wide for a lot of the other teams involved. But still playing the safe route, playing carefully. So Pirate Team actually kind of roving as a unit, find themselves a nice little outpost here near training base, and let's see what they're able to get out of it.
Brendan Esports, one of the bigger esports organizations, especially in the Philippines. And they spotted out a care package here. That's where we saw Pow earlier, just driving around looking to try and pick up what he could.
You know, watching the NA Cup earlier today, there wasn't actually a whole lot of fighting going on around those care packages. I don't want to say they were mostly ignored, but they just didn't seem to be heavily prioritized.
No.
Let's see if that's going to be different in the SCA.
I mean, you don't get too much from care packages, right? Maybe a level 3 armor somewhere. Maybe you can pick up, you know, a good assault rifle or, you know, a decent machine gun. Sometimes a sniper rifle, but you're not always going to be using that, especially with it only just coming back into meta. It's not a high priority. The biggest prize you can get from one of those care packages is the grenade launcher. If you can pick up the grenade launcher, that packs a punch, and that's something which teams would love to have every single time. So it's not like you get the best weapons every single time, 100% of the time out of the care packages. You get good upgrades, but it's not something worth dying for.
No, that's definitely the case. So a lot of teams, of course, when playing very cautiously, not going to go for it. We also spotted Fnatic for just a moment there, kind of roving through in the truck themselves. And we're back to Fnatic actually right now as they were trying to look to maybe fire on somebody running over them instead. Only one more kill has happened in the last couple of minutes. Now we see Ezio up towards the top high ground here. He's actually got a couple of members of Baby pinned down. Or do they have him pinned down? That's the real question.
Feels like he's got the 2 of them pinned down at the moment, just behind the broken down plane, but Ezio coming in.
Oh, this is going to be the real pincer right now, and it looks like the members of Baby having some trouble trying to sneak around.
Left.
Oh boy. Underneath the dismantled airplane. That's not going to last for a whole lot longer with that one already downed. It looks like it's going to be 90, the last one standing for just a couple seconds, and Ezio closing in.
Yeah, Just is going to drop out as well, so the 2-man wrong attack going to come through, but they lose Just.
Ooh, that was not as clean as it could have. Unfortunately, Rids wasn't there right on the money in time. So while Ezio do get to clean up, Baby, they lose at least one member for it. So they got to be careful.
Well, that's still a bit of a misplay coming out from ECO Gaming, because they could have lived with all 4 of the members left alive. Baby, they get the martyrdom, they take one down with them. But that should have been much cleaner coming out from ECO. The pincer was fantastic. They kept them pinned down, nowhere for them to go. They took out one player at the very start. Then all they had to do was come in as 3 or 4 and swoop up the kill. But unfortunately, that one player dropping out a little bit too early, making it so that, you know, he was taken down.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there for the side of Baby, but also especially for that ECO Gaming team. So we'll see how it all goes, and you know, actually just checking in a little bit with some of the points as they're standing for ourselves. We actually just got a little bit of extra information on how it all shakes out between the different regions. Yeah,
so just for context, nobody in the Indonesian region has picked up over 2,000 points. For the Philippines, only one team has picked up over 2,000 points, and that's going to be NRX John 316. But even then, they're still minuscule when it compares to the rest of the competition that has over 2,000. Thailand have 3 teams that are above NRX John 316. Fnatic as the only team that's over 3,000 points. There is one other team at 3,035. That's Just Team from Vietnam.
Speaking of Fnatic,
3,385 points. They are a full 350 points ahead of anybody else in the competition at the moment.
Yeah, and this is why they have to be considered one of the favorite teams here at the SCA Regional Clash, not just because they have that name brand recognition. I mean, Fnatic is a household name if you watch any esport pretty much ever, but at the same time, they were picked up, formed out of a pretty solid team already, and they've continued to wave that banner proudly.
I mean, they had a really poor start, 500 points in their first day of tournament, but then you look at the rest, 915, 790, 1,170. These are not poor performances coming out from Fnatic by any stretch of the imagination.
No, that's pretty true, and at this point, we're already into week 5 and making sure that looks like some of that status quo is going to be maintained for the time being with the way these teams are standing up. Let's see, as a little firefight breaks out there, one of Ezio's members actually having to duck down underneath. It looks like people have returned to the scene of the crime here, and I don't know how this fight's actually going to take out, but there's at least one more member of Baby wanting to get a little bit of revenge.
As much as Fnatic do have the highest total score, the team with the best of 5 score at the moment is going to NRX John 316 still. This is AL from Indonesia, who had a pretty impressive run last week. Quite a few top 5 highlight plays coming out from the squad, but historically haven't been looking too good. #1 on the #1 hill at the moment. That is their territory. They've proven that they can defend it pretty well, but at the same time, they don't quite know where to go after they take that hill. It's a double-edged sword for #1. They're kind of stuck on top in the exact same spot that we saw from the first match of the Southeast Asian Regional Clash. ECO Gaming inside this compound, #1 on the #1 hill.
Absolutely, and it's a little bit rough trying to stay on top of that hill when unfortunately you can just paint a big target on your back. You're seen pretty much out in the open from the top of that building, and ECO proved that that was the better spot to be in right now. So we're down to 49 players into this game, and we're already starting to see a couple of those mistakes, key mistakes, being punished.
So we mentioned that, the Philippines only has 4 teams, have 4 teams that are below 2,000 points. Indonesia, 5 teams that are below 2,000 points. Thailand are all above 2,000. That's how strong this region is. Looking at things, there are 2 teams from Vietnam that can overtake 2 of the Thai teams, and then 2 teams? Yeah, 2 teams from the Southeast Asian General Region and 1 team from the Philippines that can overtake 2 of the Thai teams.
But I think it's fair to just talk about the fact that the Thai teams are, in general, just looking always stronger than their counterparts. They have banked a lot more points as a result. It is considered a very competitive region, even within SCAs, and that's kind of saying something, considering where these teams tend to place in those big World Championship stages.
Mm-hmm. I mean, put it this way. #1 is Fnatic, then in second place is Just Team from Vietnam. Immediately, #1 from Thailand is in 3rd place. ECO in 4th place. Like, these teams are just so strong.
Yeah. We'll see if they can be challenged here. We see a couple of the Indonesian teams moving around. That's Nara actually inside this car right now, this truck I should say. And watching Khaleesi actually at the wheel. It's not something I thought I'd say. I've been a Game of Thrones fan for years.
You're watching Khaleesi at the moment?
There aren't any dragons in Rules of Survival last I checked. That'd be a nice addition, though.
Yeah, not really.
No?
Not
like, not rideable dragons?
No,
you wouldn't take it?
I'm alright.
That would be a supply drop worth fighting for.
Oh, boy.
Dragon egg?
Please don't bring dragons into this.
No, see, you'd have to actually, you could only hatch them by throwing a Molotov at them. Yep, and there was a chicken grenade. Wow, that was off screen. And unfortunately, the Khaleesi is downed. That's not good. So, Nara, well, it was a sweet run, but a short one.
Still have 2 players in there. Nara looking to do what they can to hold on.
Ooh, not for much longer. There's another down right now. Okay. Looks like they just pretty much just collapsed on. That was ECO, who getting the lion's share of kills at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Again, ECO, the #4 team in the entire competition at the moment, the newest team from Thailand as well. Really stepping up so far. We still have 2 more weekends of group stage play to go. There's a lot of points for these teams to pick up. Slowly getting in towards the territory where we have these small skirmishes in Southeast Asia. Around 14-15 minutes, we'll see a couple of squads get into these small skirmishes. You can see one between Pirate Team, as well as one of the Filipino teams that is down below.
Yep. certainly looking like it for the time being. Always keep an eye on Pirate Team is definitely a good idea, so watching their movements. This is another team that has been showing up pretty strong. They always, of course, drop down at that observation center, but they've fanned out pretty effectively since then. Oh, looks like there's a new player entering the stage here. And I'm just moving through on this monster truck, and they're actually going to be dropping a couple people along the side of Pirate Team. See if they get the jump on them.
Taking their time, making their way downtown, not fast.
Well, there's definitely a lot of faces passing. That's for sure, and Rayhong gets downed. That's a little unfortunate there for Pirate Team, and now Valentine's in some trouble, and looks like that's another down as well. So as we were singing the praises, Pirate Team kind of got caught snoozing for just a second.
Yeah, snoozing for just a second, but that's all it takes to get all these downs.
Oh, that's a little unfortunate there for Pirate Team. And we're looking pretty good earlier on in this game, but it's just about it out. We're down to 43 players in the game just like that. And as you mentioned, this is the point where all the action starts to happen for sure. More drive-bys going through, and that's Jay-Z actually getting knocked down over into the ground.
Kakarot still driving around with Triple X. This is Will Clubs on your screen. Got the clan tag Havoc at the moment, running into another one of the Filipino squads. That's Brent Esports slowly mowing them down. Yeah,
and Kakarot's going to be the next target there as he got down and taken down to 0. A whole lot of helping of damage dealt on that one, and real accurate spray it looked like. Now we're going to see if Jackie can actually kind of break through here. This is the other one, another member of Pirate Team. This is a substitute, remember, that was brought in for this match in particular.
And remember, the Pirate Team do play with a rotating 5-man roster. To say Jackie's a substitute is a little bit, what's the word for it? It's not giving him the credit he deserves.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. They definitely try to give time to everybody involved.
Yeah, and
just because Mansum's not in doesn't mean they're not the same team.
Exactly. Then they do this quite frequently. They'll rotate players around, because all 5 of their players are just top-tier quality players itself. The only one that if you take out really feels awkward is when Valentine is substituted out. Pirate Team just don't feel quite the same. They're very different. Down from the minute intricacies to playstyle. Just very, very different.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Now we're taking a look at another one of our Indonesian teams there. Is going to be Just Call Me, as they're finding themselves a nice little spot to kind of hop out the car and continue on their looting. A little bit down by the beach. A lot of scattered survivors here. We saw Neptor a lot earlier on in this game. That's going to, of course, be WAFF. There's another F in there for sure. But they've been staying alive in this game pretty well, especially considering they came close to getting chopped down to size very early on in this one.
Majopagi moving forward here for the Philippines. They're all getting in towards this next play zone. We don't have any of the notorious med-strat teams in the current competition.
No, and it's kind of nice. Most of the teams are really forcing on the aggression as it goes in. Everybody moving towards the circle.
We will see it, though. We will see med-strat come out. Look at that. Team 5 already leaving one player behind. So teams are moving in towards this research edifice where the final zone will take place, but we will see med-strat. It always takes place in Southeast Asia, just that there are 2 teams, SEAL Team as well as Fate, that always med-strat. Every single game, no matter what. So they're from Vietnam as well as Southeast Asia General, so we won't see either of those 2 teams play today. So we can be a little bit safe when it comes to not witnessing these crazy med strats take
Less
place.
meds, different strats. There we go. That's what I like to see. So Majapagi moving up into the house, and this is kind of that weird point where the houses sometimes get a little bisected by the green zone, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes to try and get the loot off and try to find a safe spot that you can actually hole up in, especially when you're less members. Back to Ezio we go, though, and this is the team that has really been fragging out this game, and they're still holding up in this proper position. And this is what happens when you're able to set up shop in a really good spot early on in this game. You pointed it out quite a lot earlier in the day when we were doing the NA Cup, and it's the same true in SEA.
Yep. You can see NRX still looking down towards the rest of the teams. Pirate Team are just inside this current circle, so they have to keep moving, but 6ix9ine loses one of his teammates. Like an A caught on the other side of the hill. Nobody else from NRX was close by to help him out. This NRX team is fairly split up today.
Yeah, they're definitely not the only ones, but we're starting to see a bit of stuff coming apart at the seams. There's a couple members of NF hanging off to the side. And it looks like it's just kind of a battle to see how much vision you can actually secure. More interested in just making sure they have eyes on anybody that would try to be sniping them down than trying to find those pick shots themselves.
It's really worth it as well, because this is going to be such an open territory that they're going to play around. The research edifice does have one large building, but not many places for you to take cover and hide. So taking this high ground, getting as much vision as possible, as much information as possible before play zone 5 and 6, where we'll have the big fight between the final 38 players, is incredibly important.
That's certainly the case. It's been a pretty steady trickle down in terms of players killed in the last several minutes, because up until about that 14-15 minute mark, we still had about 49 players left on the map, and it's just been a little bit here and there. No massive firefights, no like majorly multiple teams involved. It's just been a couple of players or one team on another team, and then inevitably somebody's going to get eliminated. So it has been much more systematic here in the SEA Regional Clash. Taking a look at ZFP.
This is NRX staying on top of the research edifice. There's a care package below. And JC will pick up whatever's inside there.
Uncontested as well. He should have a pretty good time. We'll take a look at whatever his stash is going to be. As people start to congregate closer and closer to that big old pyramid, Majipoki does get clipped. He's not in any immediate danger, though.
Still going to bounce from side to side. He sees his attacker, so he knows exactly where they're coming from. Doesn't get hit too hard, but that play zone's going to start to deal damage to him as well. He needs to move forward.
Yeah, not the only one, though. Looks like there's a couple of downs going on up towards the top of the hill, and Ayabishu, oh, he's going to get taken down. Down once again, Majipoki, and he gets down on the ground himself to make sure he doesn't take too much damage as he bandages up.
Yeah, Majipoki with some great shots there. He's forced to heal as he's inside the zone, but we'll keep pushing forward. He has a teammate that's down just above the hill there. DVY Lord is close by. Mac is close by as well.
Yeah, got to be careful not to get caught out too far. Looks like he's going to try to finish that pick on the player he downed a little bit earlier on with the grenade. Waited a little while and actually didn't land it. That looks like he's going to be going in for the kill all the same. Has some teammates there to help clean up the rest of it. So there we go, claiming the kill, making sure no one else can actually get that, and we're down to 34.
Yeah, Mac's still here, though, so he has to be a little bit careful. Mac's waiting inside the brush, spots him out, gets
and he's
going to
get the down. Majipoki is in a little bit of trouble here. Now Mackie does take some damage in retaliation, trying to bunny hop away, but this is a really tense one. Battle through the grass right now, and all of a sudden he's able to get one, no two down, and they keep on going.
He does take that one down with him. The Pulse will lose one of their players here.
All right, so some trade-offs definitely happening at the moment.
Bit of a martyrdom coming out from them.
Yeah. So far, though, it's pretty compelling action. A lot of mini skirmishes as we continue here. It looks like the circle's about to shrink down once again on the research edifice. And Ezio, still the team that seems to be pretty much wide out in front for the time being. We haven't really seen a whole lot from them since a couple of the early skirmishes. They've been holding strong up towards the top high ground in the house. And this is where you have to start moving around because that circle just keeps shrinking. You can't be safe anymore. No,
you have to keep moving. Number one, just getting a few more kills on towards Isia, so they actually come out on top during that exchange over towards Hill.
Oh,
good shots.
Nowhere for him to go, and you can see Shibuya on the top of the house right now. He's able to fire down WBS. Oh, this is really close right now, as well as aggressive coming through for WAFF. Oh, boy. That was a tough one. They tried to march on in and didn't realize they had Shibuya on the top of the house.
Yeah, that was WFFF just walking in like they own the house. That wasn't great. Aggressive just gets knocked down for the second time. Naptor just picked him up.
The sad thing about this, though, is WAFF, they tried this. They tried this before on the exact same team, and unfortunately, they're getting punished for it. Knockdowns left and right here as Lion goes through to try and clean up the rest of the kills. Nepter's down, Aggressive's down, and it looks like that is going to be the end of W4F. Looks like they're going to be polished off.
Yeah, WFFF going to get eliminated there.
Why did I say 4? It was triple F.
Yeah,
I'm adding Fs. I'm adding unnecessary Fs.
Please stop adding Fs. They didn't feel that badly.
No, they didn't.
Mac and Lion getting taken down, though. They are going to be killed. Kikopaki going to be able to pick up those kills on towards them. So good shots coming out from NR Warriors.
Yeah, Kikopaki gets himself healed up. So does Shibuya. So, plot thickens a little bit here. And now we see Pow Pow and the rest of his team hanging around just off the corner of the edifice. They're on the low ground right now, so they won't be able to find a whole lot of easy picks. But at the same time, Ezio doesn't see them just yet.
24 minutes in, so we're getting into the final play zone. 1 minute until that starts to collapse.
Well, for the time being, still the power players that have been in this game from minute 1 are, for the most part, still active in it. Maybe lost 1 or 2 players, but still staying strong. Pow Pow on the gun. Let's see what he's able to get done as this car drives on through. Looking for a couple of shots between the trees. Not going to be able to find it. We're still down to 20 members, though. Zippy does get taken out by Fnatic. And there's a chicken grenade. Bit of a weak one, it looks like.
Did it do too much? 18 players left here, though. Jeff Pro and Laser Pro are currently down.
Bander's got to run. He's
gonna get
nearly
inside.
outside the zone, and he's running straight into danger. It gets capped, and it looks like easy cleanup here, as it was for Zeldrins.
Yeah, Zeldrin from Brenny Esports able to get that pick. Jeff Pro is still up, so he's going to try and pick up his teammate, but he's going to get knocked down as well.
He thought he was in the safe zone. Not going to happen, so it looks like everyone's going to have to congregate right in front of the pyramid, and we could be in for a real shootout here, Fish. Tina Pei sitting down just below the grass, trying to make sure doesn't get caught out. 15 players left in this game. Kikapagi been able to stay in this one pretty effectively as well.
NRX still have 3 players alive in this. Fnatic are congregating as well. Pirate team have quite a few players inside of here. Reynolds actually doing some work against the Brenny Sports pushing in.
Yeah, you can see Jackie already took a little bit extra damage there, and now a couple of the Fnatic members already starting to get punished. Now JC, let's see what he's able to get done. Kind of hiding behind some of this machinery.
CT holding onto a very good spot. 6ix9ine has to push forward. If not, he's going to take damage from the zone. That zone is slowly creeping outside the research edifice, and it's halfway through shrinking.
We have 12 players left, and it's nearly at 26 minutes right now. This is about to get real cramped inside the pyramid.
Brenny Sports can't mess this one up. They have such a good position. They've already got 6 frags for themselves. It's one of the first time we've seen them with all 4 players moving in towards the final circle. Pow Pow, though, is going to take some shots.
Oh, got to be careful. He does step away for the time being. No, he gets knocked down before he's able to take out Ayatats, and that is unfortunate for Pow Pow and Brenny Sports, who've had such a fantastic run so far. Still, the rest of his team does seem to have made it out. However, they got to be careful. There's grenades. Waiting for that prime. You never know how long it goes for.
Yeah, Pow Pow's not going to be picked up. He gets eliminated. The chicken grenade will be enough to kill him. Ayatats doesn't even get kill credit. It was the grenade from another team that's enough to get the kill.
Ah, only good old kill steal. Unfortunate. Let's see what the rest of the team could do now. Ezio is actually going to get caught out up on the top side as they tried to make their way into the pyramid, but how many of them are actually left up in this? JZ is actually going to be dropped as well, so we're down to 6 players right now, and kind of a smattering of different players, different teams. Ayatats, not much happening there. Going to be bleeding out in just a second.
Kikapagi just trying to do what he can to pick up his ally. As long as he's reviving Ayatats, he's not going to take any bleed damage.
Oh, there we go.
Must do so before the circle closes in because it doesn't stop circle damage. 6ix9ine already lost all of his teammates. Must move in towards the zone. This zone does kill. Reynolds spots him out, though. 6 players left.
Okay, it looks like we're going to be changing that number pretty quickly here. A lot of bunny hops left and right. Reynolds does get down. Reynolds gets taken out, and Kikapagi is going to be one of the last few standing. We are down to only 4 here, Fish.
There we go. Kikapagi, after getting the revive, now it's going to be them against the world. Able to come from behind. 6ix9ine, though, doing what he can. Gets one.
And Ayatats is down just like that. 6ix9ine, one-man army trying to keep himself alive, and it is 1-on-2 just to keep things at the end here. Kikapagi, Ilsan, Ayatats.
6ix9ine must move. So what NR Warriors are doing at the moment is very smart. They're sitting back, forcing 6ix9ine to make his move.
Well, in all senses, this should be the advantage to NR Warriors, but let's see what 6ix9ine can do. Can he be the hero? We've seen some miracle comebacks in greater odds today.
He needs to do something about Ayatats being picked up. He does. Stops him from getting the revive, I believe.
Wait, so that scope, see if he can get a few pot shots off the side. There's a jump hook. Kikapagi is going to get picked off, but unfortunately, 6ix9ine has run out of steam and run out of time.
Ayatats, though, and the rest of NR Warriors playing out of their mind. Look at that. 13 frags being picked up on the day.
That is absolutely insane, and that's 4 frags per player outside of Majapagi. And Majapagi actually lasted for quite a long time in that game, so really impressive performance. Really not much else you can take away from it there.
I mean, still a good performance coming out from NRX. That's going to be 9 frags being picked up for a 2nd place finish.
I just woke up in my underwear, no liquor left on the shelf. I should probably introduce myself. You should have seen what I wore. I had a cane and a party hat. I was the king of this hologram where there's no such thing as getting out of hand. Memories antenna just pop up. Drunk pre-meds and some rubber gloves. 5,000 people with designer drugs. Don't think I'll ever get enough.